In this third video on product or system design-based final year project reports, we will look at some of the language features of scientific report writing. The first feature is academic language. Your report is a formal document and hence it is important to use formal language and avoid informal language forms. Some informal common language forms are phrasal verbs such as look at, contractions such as don't, informal words or phrases such as a lot of, got. More formal alternatives are examine, do not, extensive, numerous, obtained. Academic language often uses passive constructions to make the writing information focused and more objective. They emphasize the action, not the person taking the action. Academic writing should be as objective as possible. Subjective and strongly emotional language, such as wonderful, lovely, absolutely, should be avoided. The second feature is hedging. Hedging means using tentative language for things you are not certain about. The opposite of tentative language is assertive language. Researchers use assertive language when describing facts, but use tentative language when making claims about their findings. The reason for using tentative language is that it ensures your writing will not be labelled as inaccurate or based on incorrect assumptions. Some of the techniques for hedging are using tentative statements or verbs like tends to, suggests that, using limiting words like possible, probable, likely, using modal verbs like may, might and could. Words that should be avoided are definite expressions such as clearly, obviously, there is no doubt that, absolutely. The next important feature of scientific writing is nominalization. Nominalization is the use of a noun phrase generated from words of another word class, usually a verb. In this process, nouns, things, concepts or people replace verbs, actions or events. This technique helps you to create variety in your writing, convey an objective, impersonal tone, reduce the length of your text, make your writing more abstract and formal. You may often want to use abbreviations in your writing. When using abbreviations, you should first write the word or term in full, followed by the abbreviation in brackets. Note, you should not use abbreviations in the title of the report or in the abstract. Only use abbreviations when you use a keyword or term at least 3 times. If you have used several abbreviations, you should include a table that lists them all. You should be aware of collocations. These are words that go together and are features of habitual and natural language use. For example, adjectives that are often used with specific nouns. For example, we use the adjective in-depth, not deep, with the noun investigation. So we use an in-depth investigation and not a deep investigation. Lastly, we will consider the use of tenses. We will consider how the section of your report determines the choice of tenses used. Here are some general points for various sections. The introduction uses present and present perfect tenses. This is because the introduction often gives scientific facts and refers to ongoing research. The literature review uses present tense to refer to research findings that are still relevant and uses past tense to refer to gaps in research and research that is outdated and no longer relevant. The methodology section uses past tense to describe actions and processes. It uses present tense to describe theories and the usual methods of doing something. The results section uses past tense to describe the findings and results obtained. Present tense is used to refer to graphs and other figures. The discussion section uses past tense to summarize findings. It uses present tense to explain the significance and discuss the findings. The conclusion uses a combination of tenses. The web-based notes contain further examples of tense use and other language features. There are some links to see more discussion on language features. There are also some examples of common student errors. That concludes the video on language use in scientific writing.